Hi, I'm Candy Zong, and I'm going to do a critical game review of The Beginner's Guide. The Beginner's Guide is made by Davey Wreden. It was released in 2015. The developer is also known for the Stanley Parable series, so you can kind of get a clue of how in-depth this game might be. You can get it for the price of $10.99 on Steam for Mac or PC, but it also goes on sale for as little as $4.39 sometimes. The game essentially is an experiential interactive narrative with mini games. It lasts for a little over an hour and tells the story about the narrator, who is also voiced by Davey himself, and his relationship with another game developer named Coda. We explore the downfall of their friendship through the series of games that Coda has developed from 2008 to 2011, and the story unfolds as Davey deciphers what these games could mean and what it said about Coda's personality and possibly deteriorating mental state. It explores the concept and struggle of someone who's dealing with something that they do not understand. So what made this game so compelling and unique? Let's start with the controls. The controls are simple. It's mostly exploration and point and click. You just have to listen to what the narrator is saying and understand what his thought process is about Coda's games. You just do whatever the game calls for, and whatever the narrator says goes. There really isn't any traditional mechanics, no goals, no objectives. You're just in a walkthrough. Or should I say, feel through.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room. How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Okay, let's start with the good. The narrative is the main focus of the game. You wouldn't be able to understand anything without listening or reading what the narrator's saying. It wouldn't be as enjoyable without it at all. It's short but packed with thought-provoking narrative that spoke to me personally. It explores mental health, depression, anxiety, pressure to succeed, to please people, the concept that happiness comes from the validation of other people's praises. The game justifies itself in a unique way through deep analysis, even though most would consider these games unplayable. The execution is fluid and really helps the player understand why these games were made this way.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop.
It's not about whether it's a game or not, it's about what games meant to this person in this game. You get invested into the relationship too, and you want to know more about Coda and the narrator. The whole thing unfolds and it hits you on a deeper level than you could have ever imagined. But we also have to talk about the bad. There's no action, no actual plot. You aren't even exactly the main character in this story. You're just a third person looking into the relationship between narrator, which is Davey, and Coda. There's no Easter eggs, no replay value. So I guess, in a way, it is sort of boring to someone that isn't exactly interested in narratives as much as I am. But, you know, personal preference. overall, I give it a score of 8 out of 10. I personally love a game with a strong narrative, and this game was just filled with so much symbolism that it's easily one of my top favorites. The story is compelling, and the voice narration was very interesting to listen to, and it just makes me want to do a quick self-reflection of what makes me feel fulfilled in life and question what makes me happy. It really leaves its mark on you, and I really hope you guys give it a shot. Yeah, thanks for listening.